Welcome back to Marvel Media Podcast, where we talk about all things media, especially Marvel. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-host Alex, and unfortunately, we're down a man for who knows how long. Rest up, King. We're waiting for the return.
Rest up. Yeah. Well, today we are doing the Ant-Man review because regardless, we both saw it, so we thought it'd be best to just review it anyways. He'll probably give his thoughts later on when he does get a chance to see it, but for now, we'll just talk about the movie. What I can say is that currently it holds a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, critic score, of course, and it's at 84 for audience score. So that just tells you kind of where this movie was for a little bit until like it was available worldwide. So, Blake, what are your thoughts?
Pretty split there. I mean, obviously, we'll start this off with non-spoilers for a little bit here. I mean, I definitely lean more towards the audience side. 84, pretty fair. I feel like I'm probably somewhere around that range for this movie. But overall, I mean, I'm very outspoken. I am a huge Ant-Man fan. I loved his first two, and I said going into this, he has a chance to have my favorite trilogy just because of how much I loved the first two. And I was still surprised, and I kind of had probably higher expectations, I would guess, than I have for some of the previous Marvel projects, even the shows, and even going in there with a little bit higher kind of expectations. I feel like this still impressed me. I was happy leaving this one. Can't say that about the past few Marvel projects, so that's a good feeling. Miss those days. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the obvious that everybody's saying, Jonathan Majors was, whenever he was on screen, he definitely was really cool to see. Just his acting. Definitely excited for his future, Kang Dynasty movie, or if that's his next project that we see him in, who knows. But excited to see that. Hopefully it'll be kind of like a Thanos type, movie where he gets a large amount of screen time. But
he has to.
Overall,
it's his
name. He has to.
The movie.
Right. But overall, like I said, I was definitely, surprised on how much I personally enjoyed it. Jonathan Majors killed it. The cast, obviously, Paul Rudd, Evangeline, Lilly, all them were good to see. But yeah, I liked it. I thought CGI wise, I thought it was actually a lot better than I kind of had a little fear going in. Like, this is obviously a CGI heavy movie. They're going to be, we kind of expected they're going to be in the quantum realm for most of this movie. So obviously you have to CGI a lot. And I didn't really have any points that I was like, not a whole lot of Thor Love and Thunder type vibes for me personally. So, that made me happy. I feel like the writing definitely got away from the kind of cringe type casting that they've been doing for some of the characters, especially the younger female character writing. I thought Cassie was actually, a good character, well written. She had her own depth and her own uniqueness instead of them trying to say she's unique, I feel like, as they've been doing. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'd probably somewhere around that audience score.
Good to know. Well, I have not talked to you about it. You just sent me a few TikToks, I think, following me watching the movie, and I was kind of guessing, okay, you're probably leaning more towards liking it than hating it. I'm also in that direction as well. But let's just start off with the fact that the movie was, I mean, they didn't lie to you. It was in the quantum realm, which is, again, a very CGI heavy endeavor. And, for the most part, I would say, yeah, it looked good. There was a few things here and there. There was I guess he was in the trailer, but I'm going to save it for the spoiler section. There's a character in here where the CGI sometimes is just not great, but moments where he has a different appearance, it looks cool. So, take that how you will. But for the most part, the CGI was good. Jonathan Majors is fucking great in this movie, and I know everyone's talking about him, and I feel like not talking about him enough because he legitimately, I would say, probably made the movie. He made what it was. Um, every time he was on screen, I just wanted more of him. Like, honestly, the backstory that we got from him, um, the whole premise of why he's doing what he's doing, why he needs Ant-Man to do what he needs to do, and then just like his screen presence is definitely there. So with that being said, I was kind of hesitant on how they were going to do the following film, especially with the next one. I believe the next one he's going to be in would be King Dynasty, a different version of him or whatnot, but he's going to be the actor being Kang. I have complete faith in him that he can carry a movie in a similar way that Thanos did for like Infinity War and to some extent Endgame 2. So definitely no more being like, can he do it? He definitely can, 100%. In terms of the main characters, Paul Rudd, obviously he owns this role. He's great. He's funny. He definitely put himself, through the ringer here because he did have to be a little more physical with Kang being the main villain. Cassie, I think all of us, Josh included, were kind of skeptical on how she was going to do in the movie. Was she going to be another try at making every single teenage character the exact same way? And I can say for the most part, she is different. In some ways, she feels like almost like Scott, but like a nice mixture of her own uniqueness, which is nice to see. And then I feel like in terms of the other characters, like Evangeline Lilly's character, Wasp, and Janet and Hank, they did their part well. They were not as prominent in the movie as they were in the first two films. Sometimes it feels like there's two separate storylines happening, and then it kind of converges at a certain point. But overall, I gotta tell you, it was a fun experience. Minus a few things here and there. Like I said, it's great. It's not Thor: Love and Thunder bad, so you don't have to worry about that. In terms of the writing, in terms of the CGI, nowhere close to that. It definitely could have been better, yes, but for what it was, it did good, and it's a nice way of kicking off Phase 5, which is probably what it was trying to do the most. And some people may not like that because it definitely felt like it was more of a setup movie for what's to come than like being a more self story about Ant-Man. Some people may not like that. I personally didn't mind it. I thought they did well, in interweaving Scott's relationship with Cassie, as well as setting up the new big bad for future films. So overall, I would agree. In terms of scoring this film, I would say I'd probably give it like a 7.8. It's almost at an 8 out of 10 for me. So I feel like 7.8 is fair.
Yeah, I feel like that's, probably somewhere right around there. 7.8, 7.9, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. We can announce that this is now going to be a spoiler part of the video. So if you guys have not seen the film yet, don't want to get spoiled, click off of it. But before you do, drop a like, subscribe. If not, if you guys don't care, if you guys have already seen it, well, we're going to go into spoilers. So what is your thoughts on Kang's overall story? Him being the exiled one and the setup at the end. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool. I loved, we opened with like Kang kind of crashing into the quantum realm, then we didn't see him for a while. But when he did come back, Jonathan Majors was fantastic, not only as this version of Kang, but obviously at the post-credit scenes, we saw him play a lot of different Kangs. And even just in those Kangs, in that tiny little scene, extra scene that we got there, he killed it in those roles too. But I loved it. I thought, his storyline of him being, this exiled one who, was, which I don't know, maybe that's the one we saw in Loki that had like a destroyed, there's like 3 statues and then there's like a destroyed one. Maybe that was that specific Kang. But yeah, his whole thing about him just being like, the fact, like, I thought the line was so cool when, I think was it Janet? Or, I think it must have been Janet. I think it was early on when she was like giving her flashback. And she asked like, what does he want to do? And he was like, win. I just thought that was so cold that it was just like, he didn't have to go into a big speech. He was just like, win. That's it. Like, they exiled me here. I want to get out of here. And I want to eliminate all of them and win. So, yeah, I thought he killed it. I'm excited to see. That post-credit scene was I was kind of a little bit confused on it because there's so many. And then it was, I don't know, it was just kind of weird how they're like, oh, one of us didn't kill them. They're going to touch the multiverse. We need to act on it. It's like it's every one of those Kangs going to Earth to stop them, like to this dimension, or like we just sending once. Like that part was a little like confusing to me. I was like, okay, interesting. But overall, I thought just Jonathan Majors in general and his whole Kang story arc got me excited to see him. And we'll see which Kang we see in the future, obviously, if this Kang did die, or if it was something else happened to him. And like Scott's whole narration at the end of it of him being all like, wait, did I just doom the Earth because I killed this Kang? Or did I save the Earth because I stopped this Kang? And like that whole little speech was like interesting, kind of funny little dilemma that he was in. But yeah, I loved Kang. I'm hyped for his future.
100%, dude. I mean, his power, like once he got the suit and he showed his powers off, that's cold, dude. Like he just stopped them in time. Him just like fucking using his suit, his blasting, that mask. What it does to his eyes, the whole suit looks great. And then again, there's so many Kangs at the end. There's like a Rama Tut one. There's like the what's the other one? It's the one with like the big headpiece. I know it's like one of the wiser older ones.
Oh, Immortus,
dude. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. It's going to be interesting with those in particular. And I know there's like certain other versions that really stick out. One of them being the first one, I believe, is at the end of this second post-credit scene where Loki is talking with Mobius and you see Jonathan Majors talking about time travel, and it seems like it's taking place in a certain time period, but he has a whole different getup. I feel like that's like the Nathaniel Richards Kang before everything kicks off. I feel like that's kind of what they're alluding to there. So it definitely looks interesting. Very, very intrigued with Kang's story and how are they going to even do it? Because like they could do anything because there's so many versions of him. There was one with like dreadlocks. I don't know if you saw that one. It popped up when like they just started showing up using, by the way, very identical tech to Mr. Fantastic when he arrived in Multiverse of Madness. Dang.
I'm hoping.
You know what? I think what feels nice about it is knowing that we're finally starting to get something. We're starting to get somewhere. That's kind of what...
Just give me the Fantastic Four.
Like, yeah.
I want them so bad.
Yeah. Like for a while, Phase 4 was just very like loosely like a bunch of stories here and there, but no real like connection or no real direction. Like where is this really going? And I feel like now we're starting to get that. So, it's nice to see that. MODOK, that's what I was talking about earlier. Listen, when it is unmasked, that is some rough stuff right there. His overall character,
I don't think it is bad CGI though.
No, it's not bad. It's just rough. Like bad, I'd say it was dog shit.
What are you supposed to do though?
I don't know, man. There's something else.
Like
Something.
that is a
I feel like
comic
it's
book
like
character.
something is missing from his face that you should just make him a little more like deformed, like more than just being like a enlarged, stretched face of
Right.
what's his name, Darren
Darren.
Cross. Yeah, I feel like it should be just a little bit different. But when he was masked, that shit was fire. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
he
gonna
looked
lie,
cool.
it looked good. It did look cool. Um, and then obviously like the jokes at the beginning where Scott finds out that it's Darren, and he's like, "Damn, like so this is what would happen to you? Like why you have like little legs?" And it's like, no, these are normal sized legs, but it's just obviously because his head's like enlarged. Um, it was there was definitely funny moments, and then I feel like the downside was like some of the writing was just a little to me. Just like some of them. Like I feel like they weren't
Right.
consistent enough throughout the entire film. There were just some moments where like if you just would have had like a different sentence here instead of what was written down. I don't know. But I feel like if they polished that, they could have easily had something even better on their hands. All to say though, critics way over hating in this movie. 100%
Yeah.
way over hating it.
It's kind
I
of
heard so much
expected
bad
though.
shit even before I saw it though. It was crazy.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
Marvel doesn't get shit on this hard. Usually DC that like gets shit on hard prior to like worldwide releases. So
true.
it just felt weird that they're like, damn. I don't even think Thor: Love and Thunder got shit on that hard by critics
And
until audience saw it.
don't get me started with Thor. Fuck Thor. It doesn't get hated on
That
enough.
movie was atrocious. Yeah.
So,
Well,
but this one wasn't.
anything
That's
else
the good. That's the good news. This one wasn't that bad.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm happy for that. Yeah, I think. I mean, I feel like there's a lot you kind of can touch on. Do a whole in-depth review of it. But yeah, like you said, Hope, Hank, Janet kind of were more very much side characters in this one. It was definitely more focused on that. Paul Rudd and Kathryn Newton, I believe is her name. Cassie's characters.
Yeah.
It was definitely more on their relationship, and I thought they did a really good job kind of writing their relationship. And I liked them together. They did a good job with that, father-daughter connection that isn't quite a connection because they've lost so much time, and it's just been such a weird thing that he was gone for 5 years and missed so much of her life. And so I thought they did a good job writing that, but I agree. There was definitely some parts that, the writing was a little like the whole Darren, when he died, that whole scene was a little like, come on, some of this stuff is like, what are we doing? Let's just speed it up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just to finish up some thoughts on Kang. Wasn't a huge fan of. I thought Hank was badass when he showed up with all his ants and started like beating on Kang. I thought that was pretty cool. But then like at some point, you kind of needed Kang to like really just show how powerful he is and just kind of start dominating. And like he kind of got like wiped away by the ants, and then like the whole thing with Darren happened, and they went up, blah blah, and then he came back, and then he was dope when he was like fist fighting and beating up Ant-Man. That was dope. But like that scene to me, I was a little like, come on, show Kang off a little bit here. Like, don't let a bunch of fucking ants just run him over. Like,
well, in their defense, these ants have been like, evolved over 1,000 years or whatever. So they're like super smart, super big and strong. So
yeah,
it's
but like Kang, it's Kang.
But he's stuck in the quantum realm where he has no control over time, or as much control as he normally does.
But he's got he's got enough power that like ants kind of we gotta let him.
Yeah, I understand, but I can see both sides. That's the thing. I can see both sides, and I definitely agree with you. I feel like he definitely should have shown a little more, but I'm not 100% mad at it. So
I agree, because I was happy for Hank. I was like, let's go. Hank showed up with all the ants, like leading them. I was like, let's go. This is the OG Ant-Man, being Ant-Man. But I thought another just cool small little scene.
Janet.
Yeah.
When she was Wasp, like for like that flashback scene, I actually like that because you see her wearing her suit, and you don't really see that much in the other Ant-Man films.
Right. Yeah,
so
she
that was
definitely
cool. Their little fight.
cast aside a
Yeah.
lot. But just a small thing with Kang that I liked, like there was that moment where MODOK tried to like talk with like Ant-Man and all of them, and like Kang just like threw him to the side of the thing, and he was like, "Don't speak when I'm in the room." Like that to me was like a cool like scene of showing Kang as like, this dude is like this dude is just, he's him. All right, he creates what he wants, he does what he wants. Like nobody's on his level. Like MODOK and him aren't like buddies. Like MODOK's his bitch. Just like, let's get that straight right now. So like I just love that scene, just kind of showing off like Kang can be like, he's ruthless. He's gonna do what he wants to do. He's gonna try to win.
He's a conqueror, dude.
Yeah,
He's the conqueror.
I can't wait. I can't wait for him to. I don't know. We'll see which Kang. You know, we'll kind of get. Is this Kang actually gone, or is he gonna come out somehow? And we'll see this one as the main one trying to take over the multiverse. We'll see, but yeah, I'm excited. This definitely, like you said, this was not just a standalone like the past Ant-Mans have just been Ant-Man story building, world building. This is whole MCU building to kick off the new phase, and I think they're 1-1 so far, kicking off the new phase. So I'm excited.
Completely agree with you. Kang Dynasty, here we come.
We'll wrap this one up. You know, like the video, subscribe, comment down below if you've seen, you know, if you got this far. We're assuming you probably saw Ant-Man. What were your thoughts? Also, just, you know, F's in chat for Josh. You know, maybe one day he'll be back. We'll see. But, you know, moment of silence. It's long enough. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one.